What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin today. Hit that like button, subscribe, and thank you all for being here. It is the 26th day of February, and here we are sitting at about $68.1 thousand with roughly 9.5 hours left in the day. We had a pretty good day yesterday. We had a very good day yesterday, actually. We closed the day at 67 point, basically 68K. Like that's pretty good, guys. I mean, we didn't have crazy volume. We didn't necessarily need it, but we did have above average volume, about average volume yesterday. So that's good in itself. I want to look at the short term stuff. We've got a lot to go. We've got a lot to go over, and a lot of possibilities to talk about as well. I guess it's the same thing. Even though we've seen a higher high, we're not out of the woods yet. There is a chance that we could go lower, that we could go lower than this low, and that we could even go lower than this low. Even though we have the higher high here, it's still a lower high overall. But damn it if this doesn't look good for a low. Let's look at the short-term stuff and see what's going on, okay? I was pretty hesitant yesterday to call for that to be the low. We were not hesitant to call for the price to go up, right? I even said we could go above this high, but we could still come back down. I'm eager to see what the charts have for us in store today. Let's see. First and foremost, big drop here, big sudden shift. A lot of volume came in. As we dropped lower, volume died off. That is a signal of turning around, of a reversal, right? 1 hour time frame, a little bit of bullish divergence at the bottom there. You're coming up here. No bearish divergence at the top. None at all. You got nice and deep into the overbought zone. Strongest readings that we've seen in a little while on the 1 hour here. You did get lower lows in your RSI while providing higher lows in your price. That's hidden bullish divergence. You're back at the same areas that you found support here, here, and now here. Stochastics are reset. They're back oversold. The MACD is flipped red. You're coming down. I mean, you can flip green here. That's fine. I mean, you look good, man. You look pretty good. You can go lower from here, and that's not a problem. So if we do go lower from here, that's honestly not a problem at all. Let's see. From a low to a high, I would say you probably don't want to go too much below 67K. But it's even okay to go below 67K, okay? I think you don't want to get below these highs really too much. You probably don't want to get below 66K, but in theory, I suppose you could drop even all the way down to 65.2 to 64K, find support, and then move up. But I'm pretty sure yesterday I was saying if we go below 66K after getting above these areas here, that would be problematic. I want to look at the 4 hour time frame. I think I remember why that is. Again, just this in itself, from a low to a high, I would expect, because we're below the 236 here, that we go to the 382. So we probably do go, we're at 67.9K now, we're basically at 68K now. We probably do pull back down to about 67K, maybe even just below there. But then we're looking for a bounce there. Okay, ideally we're looking for a bounce there. If we don't bounce there, it's not the end of the world. But then we're in crunch time because that zone between 67 to 66K is a very necessary area of support for us. Okay, from a low to a high, anytime in my experience that I've seen, oh man, there's a couple things we got to go over here. Hold on. But anytime that I've ever seen us get to the golden ratio and find resistance, or up here and find resistance, and we go below the 382, typically that's a signal that we are going lower. We don't have to. Understand what I just said. They're not financial advice, not a financial advisor. From here, if we go below this level here, that implies that we will go below this level here. But there is a chance, always, right? Most of the time that happens. If we go below here, that doesn't mean that most of the time we just drop from here. But I'm just saying if we break this line, most of the time you do go below there. But sometimes you do break this level and you do find support around here. Really, I guess from here, the ultimate level to hold would be the 236, and that's at 64.7K. But I probably would start to get bearish if we're closing days below 66K. And I would say that specifically, not moving below 66K, but closing below 66K on a daily basis. That would upset this bullish momentum. It's officially upset at 64.7K, but I would become bearish at 66K. Right now, I'm neither bullish nor bearish. Excited. It's exciting to see a little bit of volatility. It's great. But as far as are we breaking out and moving higher, I could see this happening. Are we breaking down and moving lower? I could see this happening. It's really kind of a 50-50 split here. We're a lot closer to validating the upside than we are to the downside, but that doesn't mean the downside can't happen, right? We just had a nice little move up. Things look really good on the 1 hour time frame, and I'm okay with calling for a continuation. But another thing, it's very common whenever you have a high to a low to find resistance at the golden ratio on your first attempt. Now, yesterday we saw this little 382 to 236 dynamic play out, and I was saying this typically is exactly what you see when you work your way up to the golden ratio. Typically, you find resistance at the golden ratio. Just like typically, if you break below here, you're going to go lower. It's a typical thing. Typically, you find resistance at the golden ratio, but not always. Sometimes you do go through it. Sometimes you get stronger moves. In these stronger moves, in this non-typical kind of formation where you do go through the golden ratio on your first attempt, specifically here, the first attempt, not the second attempt, right? You didn't come up, find resistance here, and then we're coming back up here, and then we found resistance. This rule doesn't apply. What I'm about to say does not apply for this situation. It only applies for a situation where you break through the golden ratio on the first attempt, and that is if you break through the golden ratio on the first attempt and you hit the 786 specifically, it's actually very, very common in bearish scenarios to pull back to the 236 and lower, and in more bullish scenarios to either find support at the golden ratio, which we haven't done, or something in this 0.5382 area. Now, if we hit the 886, we'd have a higher chance of finding support at the 0.5, but because we hit the 786, this blue line here, we're more likely to find support at the 382. Technically, though, anything in this range counts. So 66 to 67K showing up again. I mean, I think we got an appropriate range there. We're at 68K now. We probably do come down and cool off a little bit more. Now, this is all typical stuff. We could do this weird thing where we're just consolidating here and we don't find support in this area at all, and we still move up. That happens too. And that's less common, but that is the kind of more bullish outcome, right? The most bullish outcome from this kind of situation would either be to bounce off the golden ratio and find support, or more or less do what we're doing now. It's like you're disrespecting the zone entirely, and typically when you disrespect the golden ratio like that, you do just send right through the roof. So I mean that could be like a bull flag setup in that kind of sense. You know what I mean? That could send us to prices back above 75K. Multiple possibilities here, right? As far as what's the most likely to happen, I am leaning toward the bullish effect right now. I am. But it depends on what happens here, right? We can drop from here. Volume can pick up a little bit. Ideally, not more than this. That's fine. If we find support here and then we come back up to this area, we're bullish. If we come up here and we get a higher high, but there's less volume, I would be pretty bearish, guys. I'd be pretty bearish. Especially if that came back down below the golden ratio, we'd be very bearish at these exact same levels with that kind of formation. So there's a couple of different paths. And I mean, if we just drop from here and we go below the 382, I'd be pretty bearish there too. Ultimately convinced once we're below 64.7K, there's still a chance even if we go below 66K to recover and find support, whatever. But this is the ultimate line, 64.7K right there. That's the ultimate line that needs to be held. 4-hour indicators looking at this, the RSI. Rejecting the overbought zone, that's not necessarily good, but it is technically the strongest reading we've seen on the 4-hour RSI since the 15th of January in over a month. So that's good. Stochastics are overbought. Maybe cool off a little bit. Again, come down a little bit. That makes sense to me. You have been cooling off, but you can cool off more. Come down to the 50. Maybe you go all the way to the oversold, and that would promote more cooling off, but it could happen. Man. The MACD is really trying here, you guys. You're really trying to get this cross above the zero. I mean, once, twice, 3 times you're trying. And I think what you're going to do is you're going to get held up. So you're probably going to come back down, do like a false cross or something, and then maybe bounce. That's what we're hoping for. Maybe. Daily time frame here, looking at this. MACD's shaping up, building bullish momentum. This is good. This is actually a really good look. It's still bearish overall, but it's a good look for how bearish the scenario is. Stochastics look decent here, and the RSI actually looks really good. I mean, let's be fair right here, guys. This was not good. Like if we were just looking at the RSI like this, that's not a good look. That is really not a good. Like man, this says I'm coming down here. At best, you'll get a higher low. You know, like some type of bullish divergence or something is going to form. But this is very incriminating. Would make me think that we're going below that level there. You literally beat the odds and you bounce right off your oversold zone. You had a very proper reaction too. You're in a bearish area, but you couldn't look more bullish right now, at least in my opinion. That's a great reversal candle there. We're looking at this on the 4-hour. Daily time frame. Maybe it's the 3-day. Nope, the daily. That's a great reversal there. I've talked about this. The people who watch my Zebek videos, you're probably more aware of this because I feel like this happens more with Zebek, but it happens with all types of cryptos. When you get a solid candle body down, and then you get a doji candle like this, or a hammer, or whatever, then you get a solid body up, whenever you see that little formation, that's typically a low point. It typically marks a reversal. Typically. Not always, but typically. Solid body up, doji candle, solid body down. It's a reversal point. Solid body down, doji candle, solid body up. Let's see if I can find an example of this. It definitely happens with Zebek a lot for some reason. It does happen with Bitcoin too at times though. I'm not seeing any examples. I'm sure I might have glazed over, whatever the right word would be for one. This kind of works. It's mainly the doji and then the solid body after. You don't really have it in the beginning, but it kind of works. Right there. There you go. See, like that. Solid body down, doji candle, solid body up. That was a low point. And you reversed and you went up higher. Stick that in your back pocket for your TA fun. That's, again, it might not help identify the low here because there are situations where you get a solid body, you get a doji, and then you keep going down. That happens too. We probably passed over a few of those options like this here. I guess that actually did continue to go up, to be completely fair. It's not perfect, but after like 3 days after this point here, you can pretty much confidently say that you have a low. So I'm going to call for it. I'm going to say that that is a low. I would say we don't have enough yet on the charts to confirm that, and that could very well be proven wrong. But if we get above 69K, guys, we're proven right. That is, sorry, let me say that again. If we close days above 69K, we're right because we already got above 69K. And if we start closing days below 66K, I might question the idea of this being the low. But for now, we're going to run with it. For now, being at 68K, I think we pull back to 67, 66K. We should find support there. We should recover and ideally close above $69,000. When we do that, that'll be a signal that we're breaking out of this range and we should be moving up to prices somewhere around, I would think, around 80K, but just below there. We could consolidate here for a little bit, guys. We could consolidate. We could literally be tight in a range like this for the next 5 days and then drop and then move up. It could all happen today. We could move down and then up today, and then end of month we're actually rallying up to 75K. I still expect when March comes along that we will see a pullback in the beginning of the month. That is my expectation, but time will tell. Hit that like button, and again, the pullback can happen from here. It could happen from higher prices. It could happen from lower prices. I just think that in the beginning of the month, wherever we are, wherever the price is in this little box, we will come down in the beginning of March and then recover and probably have a good month in March. I don't think this coming down will promote a lower low. I think it'll promote a higher low from this low even. At least at this point, that's my thoughts. We'll see. It is the 26th. We still have 2 days left. A lot can happen in 2 days, but we're definitely taking a more bullish stance here. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one, okay? Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.